Today is all about peppers, and I want to share with you the 9 varieties I will always be growing in my garden and why you should too. Hey, it's Phil from Earth Nails and Tails. The season is coming to an end, and I wanted to share with you the 9 different varieties of pepper plants that I grew in my garden this year and plan on continuing to grow for years to come. I've got this beautiful pepper hedge behind me that has just been pumping out peppers all year long, and I want to just go down the line, share with you all of the different varieties, how I use them in the kitchen, and why I love every single type. Starting at the front over here, we have the Jupiter pepper. And if you counted the bowls, it's the only one that I don't have on the table right now because they are still ripening. They are a nice and large, delicious red bell pepper that I love to use for baking, especially for making stuffed peppers. The reason why is because they are the biggest pepper that I grow, and you can easily cut off the top, stuff them full of whatever you like, slip them in the oven, take them out, and then you've got a delicious meal on your hands. And that's why I always love to grow the Jupiter pepper. Next we have the Golden Cow, which are these beautiful orangish yellow peppers right here, and very similar to the Jupiter peppers. They're fairly large and they're excellent for making stuffed peppers. Besides that, I like to cut them up, chop them into bite-sized pieces, and you can pretty much mix them into any dish and they taste absolutely delicious. They're just so sweet. Tastes like California. Next we have the Snowballs, these beautiful whitish yellow peppers right here. And they are some of the most prolific peppers and easiest peppers that I have ever grown in the garden. I've been growing these for about 3 years now, and they just load up the plant, produce early and often. As long as you stay with the picking, they just keep on coming. These I love to eat fresh. You can just take a bite out of them. Their skin is nice and thin and sweet, or what I typically do is just slice them up into matchsticks in the kitchen and then just snack on them throughout the day. My kids love them as well. Since they are also so abundant and have a pretty large size, you can easily add them to the list for using for stuffed peppers as well. Next we have the Aura peppers, which are probably my favorite pepper to just throw on the grill, get a nice char, and have a delicious addition to any meal. I just don't even season them, just throw them right on the grill and just put them on each side for about 2 to 3 minutes. Get that nice black char, a little bit of char on that surface where the skin is almost falling off, and then these just become so deliciously sweet. And they're honestly small enough where you can just throw these with your lunch or your dinner and just snack on them whenever you want. Corona peppers, very similar to the Golden Cows as well as the Snowballs. These can complement pretty much any meal, are great for fresh eating or in a stir fry, thrown raw into a salad, or the bigger ones you can even use as stuffed peppers. And ironically, I started growing the Corona pepper in 2020 and haven't stopped growing them since. They've definitely been a staple in the garden, and they're typically one of the last varieties to ripen. So while all of your abundance is happening throughout the year, these ones are slowly maturing to just give you some excellent beauty in the garden right before the season ends. We have my favorite pepper, the Nassau peppers. These are a hybrid pepper. They kind of look very similar to a Cubanelle, but they've got these delicious and beautiful green and red colors. And my absolute favorite thing to do with these peppers is to slice them up into matchsticks and then cut them up into itty bitty pieces, mix it up with some onions or maybe even some mushrooms, fry them up in the frying pan for breakfast, mix them with some eggs and potatoes, and you have such a delicious breakfast on your hands. Another way that you can use these is by cutting them right down the middle, getting rid of all of the seeds, and then making little stuffed pepper boats, and they are just so delicious. Last in line for the beautiful hedge that I have behind me are the banana peppers. And one thing that I love to do with these is make pickled peppers. And on this social and other social channels that we have, we put out a pickled pepper recipe this year, and I'll make sure I put a link to that video in the description so you can reference that video. And if you look in the description of it, you will find the recipe on how to make Phil's pickled peppers. Banana peppers have got to be some of the best peppers for pickling because they just absorb so much flavor and maintain their crunch even sitting in a brine for months and months on end. That finishes up our sweet pepper varieties, and this season we grew 2 hot pepper varieties as well. Your typical jalapenos as well as a hybrid jalapeno, the Jedi. Both of these are pretty hot. The Jedi is much hotter than your typical jalapeno. My jalapenos I love to make hot sauce with, as well as guacamole. You can use them in breakfast as well if you want to spice things up. And they're small enough and they last quite a long time on the counter, where you can come out here, pick them occasionally, use them in your meals, or you can string them up on some line, let them dry, and then you can use them as hot pepper flakes or just hot pepper seasoning in any of your meals. The Jedi peppers, I have to be a little bit more careful with, but they are absolutely gorgeous. If you really want to spice things up, these make some excellent stuffed peppers. I'm talking jalapeno poppers that will blow your socks off. I hope you enjoyed this nice, short, sweet video on all of the different varieties of peppers I've grown this year, how I use them in the kitchen, and different ways and ideas for you to use them as well. At the end of the day, what's the point of growing all of this delicious and abundant produce if you don't utilize it in the kitchen? And that's one of the reasons why I love having my garden right in my own backyard, because I could just come out and grab some fresh picked, delicious produce of the varieties that I personally love eating and using in the kitchen. And it just makes the experience of gardening and cooking so much more enjoyable. These are the varieties that I would recommend for you to grow, but if there's a variety that you absolutely love and want to share with me or anyone else out there, definitely feel free to drop them down in the comments below, and maybe I'll add them to my arsenal of peppers for next season. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like it, subscribe to our channel, and keep watching to grow the gardener in you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.